Good evening, folks. My name is Phil Gallagher. I run ThrabenU University, a site for legacy death and taxes. And today, we're going to cast a 15-mana card on stream. That sounds fun, right? So this is Omniscience. This is a donation deck list, courtesy of my friend Justin Bentley. And so the plan is simple. Cast Show and Tell, put in Omniscience. Cast Emrakul. Sometimes you need to jump through some hoops in order to do that. So alternatively, you can Cunning Wish for a whole bunch of other cards. The general package being Cunning Wish for Firemind's Foresight, so that you can go and then get another Cunning Wish and just kind of derp around. Eventually Cunning Wish for Eldamari's Call, which lets you tutor up the Emrakul and cast the Emrakul. You get the idea here. There's also an alternative kill condition in Release the Ants. The idea being that since it's a clash card, if you put Emrakul on top of your library, you're always going to win the clash. Yeah, hit me up with some Cobalt jokes. My body is ready. As far as the deck list goes, there's not too much exciting here. This is a relatively stocked list. The one thing that's kind of interesting is that we have a personal tutor. Search your library for a sorcery card and reveal it and put it on top of your library. What sorcery do we want? It's show and tell. Most of our stuff is instance, so you're searching for show and tell. In a pinch, you can technically get a ponder or a preordain, but this is trying to be show and tell 5. What do you call 2 kobolds in a canoe? Robalds. Rough. 2 out of 10. You haven't even made it to full growner yet. I know you got better than that. Oh, I have kicked my camera. What do you call a kobold cutting grass? Mobulb. I'll give you a 3 on that one. Indeed, I am playing Run and Hide, Negator. I'm going to be a skilled magician tonight and cast 1 card repeatedly and hope that I win a game. I mean, hopefully many. I haven't played, straight up Omniscience in a long time. Probably since I first got sponsored by Card Hoarder. I've been too busy casting Chalice of the Void. What do you call kobold homies? Brobalds. Alright. What do you call twins that are losing their hair? Kobold. Alright, now chat's warming up. Now we're ready to go. So a lot of times your opening hands with this deck look a little bit weird. But because you have so many cantrips, all you're trying to do is work towards being able to go off with the combo, or being able to go off with the combo with protection against some decks. So if we're just playing against a Rug Delver or something like that, we've got probably plenty of time. Yeah, I know. This is a hand where we might have to work for a win. Alright, do I want to brainstorm this turn? I could see just impulsing this turn. I think I'm going to brainstorm end of my opponent's turn. I'm going to make it look like I'm Miracles. Hey Phil, did you hear about the TV show about Roman gods? It's supposed to be a great series. That is indeed rough. That is. Oh yeah, just tap out for a true name. Tap out for me. You have a goose, that's fine. You want to daze me? You have Stifle too? If I'm willing to fight over this Stifle, then I essentially trade Force to get my Brainstorm back. I don't know that I actually need to fight over this. But if I take the land out of this, then I'll have 3 mana without Wasteland having anything to say about it. I think I am going to go ahead and fight over this. I am Falcourt. Could you give me a card name there? Like, are you talking about, like, Tomic? I think Tomic is great at the local metagame level, but is maybe not where you need to be overall. That was a very bad brainstorm. So, like, if your local metagame is full of things like lands and depths, like, you're going to be very happy playing Tomic. But more generally, I don't want to draw one of those Ancient Tombs. But more generally, I don't know that, like, Tomic is really worth the slots. Like, if I was going to go and play in a Legacy Challenge, yikes. I wouldn't be so super stoked to have Tomic in my deck. I'm going to bottom both of these. I'm essentially looking for cantrips. Like cantrips and show and tell at this point. Yeah, so like, now that I'm done kind of like thinking, I can talk a little more easily. But like, Tomic as a generic beater is kind of medium. It's like probably worse than Sarah Avenger, just like generally speaking. But the fact that it has a very powerful upside, albeit narrow, does mean that you can probably do very cool things with it sometimes. I don't know that it's actually called Modern Horizons. I think it's called, like, I don't know, Sexy Legacy Time or something. It's like absolutely absurd how good this set is. Ice Age / Time Spiral Round 2. Yeah, that sounds accurate to me. So next turn we have Show and Tell, Omniscience, Emrakul with Spell Pierce backup. I'll have to decide whether or not that's enough to go for it. I can also like use Intuition for a turn to Intuition for like triple something. Gutshot the Bob, thank you very much for your continued support. I know I say this all the time, but it just like blows my mind that like I'm up to people who have had, 9 months or a year of supporting me at this point. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wait one turn and Intuition on my opponent's turn for another counterspell. Yeah, they have 3/1/1 Shroudy Boys. Like they can wasteland themselves if they want to make them big. Deal. Conveniently, this now means that they have less than 6 permanents. So Emrakul will just ruin them. And Rob, thank you very much for your continued support as well. I think I have triple Flusterstorm in here. If that's the case, that's 100% the counterspell that I'll go for. I have double Flusterstorm. Oh, but I have Fluster Pierce. That's pretty good. Fluster Pierce. Done. We are indeed playing against Mongoose Tribal. So we'll get a Spell Pierce, which awkwardly means that if they have a Force of Will, my first Spell Pierce doesn't actually do anything. Alright, if their last card is Daze, they get me. They do not get me. Omniscience. Bump, 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 bump. Feels good to have a battle cruiser. Yeah, I'm... Okay. So, like, just finishing up the Mongoose thought, like, the Nimble Mongoose is just, like, one of many, many, many reprints or new cards that are just going to, like, really shake up Modern. Like, I'm so, so happy with what that set is bringing to Modern. Like, it may be enough to get me to go back and play some more Modern. Yeah, Julian's soundboard is impressive. Alright. So, Boseiju on Show and Tell is super, super sweet. I would like to do that. Now, what do I want to cut in this matchup? I think I'll probably trim a Cunning Wish for being slow. I think I'll probably trim the Personal Tutor. And maybe a Preordain. The new Mother of Runes card is, like, kind of medium by Legacy standards, but super, super sweet by Modern standards. So, like, I think that card is awesome for Modern. You'll like maybe see it from time to time in a Death and Taxes list if you want to like play Protect the Queen and you really need to protect, like, say, Thalia or Sanctum Prelate or something like that. Oh man, Akira, that is a crazy good movie. I'm gonna keep this hand. It's not like super impressive, but again, in these brainstorm decks that are really cantrip heavy, a lot of times like you can keep a very mediocre hand. And when you keep land-heavy hands versus Delver, what you're essentially doing is saying, I'm going to try to invalidate some of your soft counterspells by just playing more mana. As far as Force of Negation goes, I think that card is better than a lot of other people do. I think we're going to see more of that card than people think. I think a lot of people think, like, this is not good enough for Legacy. And I think they're wrong. Like, if you ask yourself, how many Force of Wills would a Delver deck be willing to play? The answer is more than 4. And I know this card is like night and day worse than Force of Will. Like, that's unquestionable. But as a supplement to what's already there, I think it's great. We're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, so outside of Miracles and maybe Grixis Control, it's pretty rare to see a Force of Will cast anywhere near the beginning of a game of Magic. That is not going to be true with Force of Negation. Like, even for the mana light decks, come the mid-game, 3 mana is totally reasonable. Like, even a Delver deck sometimes just curves out 1, 2, 3 lands. And if, you know, it can protect their turn 1 Delver while also being hard castable late game when their resources are low, that's pretty cool. Like, I've been mucking around with Dreadhorde Arcanus, or Dreadhorde Arcanus? Right? Yeah. Clearly, I would like Beseech You. And that card seems just nutty when backed up by extra counter magic. All right. We need to find something fun to put in with our show and tell before my opponent finds a wasteland. Wah, 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 wah. That's okay. Like, it's still a 1-for-1 trade. I accept. I don't love this Delver hitting play. Because this Mongoose, not scary. A 3-2 flyer, like making it 4 damage a turn, that I care about. So, like, let's talk about the new Mom just a little bit more. I don't think that that's a card that you want to play a split of. So, like, I don't think that's something that, like, replaces a Mother of Runes for, like, flexibility in different fringe scenarios. I think it's just worse than Mom. Do I want to play something that can get stifled, or do I want to play something that can get wastelanded? I think I'll play something that can get wastelanded. There's a different conceivable way to build Death and Taxes where you build much lower to the ground and you give up some of your end game inevitability to play more hate pieces. So, for example, you could like try to play a 6 or 8 mob deck that plays more 2-drops that you want to protect, such as Spirit of the Labyrinth. The colorless protection does matter. So, for example, it can give you protection against like Jitte or Walking Ballista, sort of Fire and Ice, an Eldrazi big derpy idiot of some nature. You're gonna click me? You have a draw step stop set. Surgical Boseiju. I accept. The thing about the colorless protection, though, is, like, in Eldrazi, is that really going to be the deal breaker? Like, a lot of times, like, if you're beating Eldrazi, it's because you've gotten to the mid-game and you, like, made a Batter Skull, or, like, you have an active Jitte on a Serra Avenger. And I think in a lot of cases, like, the new Mom isn't going to change that. So, like, I'll do some streams with new Mom. But I don't know that I really expect it to be a staple of the deck moving forward. Alright. Let's brainstorm. Let's fix this hand. I'm too land heavy. That's what I'm thinking about, Rob. Like, if that Delver flips, I don't know if I can win without this brainstorm. Like, my hand's bad. Like, I need Omniscience and a way to do something with it. Or I need Emrakul and just need to, like, dump that into play. At the same time, like, if I force this, I'm really all in. I don't love this, and it might be correct to not do this, but, like, I get to turn 2 lands into 2 new cards. Hopefully that's as good as Force and Spell Pierce. If I were the opponent and I had Force blue card here, I would force back. Just to throw that out there. Alright, great. Honestly, I'm going to cast Show and Tell. If my opponent has any counters, this gets it. Oh, maybe not. So, they have 7 cards in graveyard. So I can't try to Show and Tell twice, unless I Show and Tell once this turn. And maybe I need to, like, actually go towards it resolving, though. Let's bottom that, bottom that. Tomb would allow twice. I'm going to Impulse now. Oh, that's hard. If I take this Tomb, I can Show and Tell twice next turn. But I can't Show and Tell twice and Ponder. So I probably need to take the Flusterstorm. This one's going to be tight, like, either way. So I'm hoping to draw either land or Omniscience or Emrakul. Oh, God. I literally cannot beat that from my current state. That was... Ooh. Dude, I'm not even mad. I'm just impressed. Alright, this hand's sweet. All I need to do is find more lands. Apparently I need a wrecked emote. I'm just gonna play around Stifle. And just, like, fetch out a basic island now. I think I'm very likely to win this game as long as I don't get hamstringed by mana denial. I'll bottom an Omniscience. I'll top a Flusterstorm. We do have a sad panda, though. That's strong. It is a Delver friend. Hello, Delver friend. I'll ponder before playing a land. Neat. Do I want 2 lands? I think I do want 2 lands. Yes, I have seen the Bomberland man list with Karn. I played it once. It was in the very first couple of days of the deck being made, though. So, like, I think the versions that exist now are just better than what I was playing with. I think that deck's very good. Like, honestly, probably a Tier 1 Legacy strategy. Or if not Tier 1, very close to it. Flip to a Daze, you say. Time to fetch. Sure. Yeah, Julian did really well with it. Max Dorshan's been doing really well with it. There have been a couple other people who have picked up the deck and sung its praises. So I think my opponent has a Daze in hand. This is a bait play. It's not Pyroblast. It is a Daze. The Daze results. Alright, so the second Delver is going to be blind. Hits the Daze again. Womp, 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 womp. I'm under a lot of pressure. My opponent still has 5 cards in hand. Slightly scary. So my opponent probably doesn't have surgical extraction in hand, because otherwise they probably would have let the intuition happen. I'm going to go ahead and try to win on my following turn. So I'll again go for an intuition on my opponent's turn, and then I'll be able to show and tell with one piece of protection. Alright, so here's a fun moment of deciding what I want to play around. So can I beat a surgical here? My opponent casts surgical, it's 2 spells, so Flusterstorm would counter unless they can pay 3, they can pay for that. If I go Emrakul, 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 and they extract Emrakul, I can't get a kill off of Cunning Wish. Without the Emrakul. Well, I guess I could Firemine some more Foresight for Cunning Wish, Impulse, Brainstorm. Cunning Wish for Release the Ants. Use the cantrips to find Force of Will. I could also just get, like, Force, Force, Force. Nah, alright, I'm gonna get Emrakul, Emrakul, Emrakul. And if they have the Surgical, I will try to win with Release the Ants without without Emrakul. Yep. Life gets harder. I still might be able to win. It's not good. Kind of wish I had a Kozilek's return. That would be pretty decent. So, do you have 2 pieces of counter magic? You have a Spell Pierce. Well, I'll pay. Alright, I lose that. GG. Don't know if I could have played that one differently to end up with the W there. Like, I could have Well, no, I guess like anything I intuition for basically gets circled, right? So like I kind of end up in the same spot. And like I couldn't beat the counter spells that they had. Yeah. So I guess like they had me no matter what. Opponent has mulliganed. I have a turn 2 show and tell if I find a show and tell. That's what Ponder's for, right? We need to look at a lot of cards. It's also turn 2 show and tell with force backup at that. Your expedition map resolves, Eddie. Bad news, I'm doing degenerate things. Well, we found an Emrakul. That's great. Now let's just draw good old show and tell. I mean, I'm starting to feel like a bully. Cunning Wish. So I can Cunning Wish for intuition, intuition for show and tell. DK, you might be right. I think that's kind of the line I'm in now. Yeah, Kiki Jiki, Bentley donated for this one. So we're the bad guys. Yeah, so this is mono blue Omniscience. Well, you know, like mono blue in that like we play a volcanic island in case we need to like randomly hardcast one of our sideboard cards, but you know, we're basically mono blue. We won't find any sneak attacks here. You're gonna Field of Ruin me, so I get an island. That is slightly inconvenient. Alright, I guess I need to find lands now, in addition to show and tell. So let's use Ponder first. There is a land, so we'll take the land. Then I'm going to go ahead and fetch, look at some new cards. Actually, I guess just impulsing on my opponent's turn is better, because it will also leave me the flexibility to Spell Pierce if something gets real weird. Although I probably would just, like, force something. So I'm not exactly sure what my opponent would need to beat me. Like, maybe they could have some really weird show and tell target or something, but... Well, I just don't get to find a Force of Will. Or not a Force of Will, a show and tell. Guess I'll take a brainstorm out of this. Three, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to go ahead and brainstorm here. As long as I hit a land, there's no real penalty for me doing so. Alright, or find a show and tell. That's fine. So now I'll put back 2 cards. It doesn't really matter what. Let's throw back an Intuition and... I guess a Cunning Wish. I'll put back 1 Pierce. 3, 6, 7, 8. Does it already have everything that I need? Let's ponder, shuffle that stuff away, just try to find another land. 3, 6, 7, 8. I guess like we can preordain and try to find another land. I've still got a force for whatever big thing they do. All right, fine. I will discard a card. You got me. So they have 6 mana. 6 mana is good and well. Is it good enough, though? Probably not. I will force a will basically any meaningful play they make. But if they can't get above 6 permanents this turn, it doesn't much matter what they do. A Chalice of the Void on anything below 3 is much too late here. What does that get? Don't think I care. You got it. Like, you can just get a Cloud Post. Three, 6, 7, 8, 9 towards Eldrazi. I don't really care about that until it's like 11. Yeah, you can search for an Emrakul. That's fine. Like, I have Omniscience, so I beat that. And you have fewer than 6 permanents, so I beat that. Oh, a Thought-Knot Seer. That's cute. Alright. So I Omniscience. You put in Thought-Knot Seer. You take my Emrakul, but then I'll win with Cunning Wish instead. Yeah, I guess I could just, like, win with Cunning Wish in response to this. Ooh, do I have a Stifle effect? Is this an instant? It is an instant. Oh yeah, I could just Trick Bind. Let's just do that so I can do less clicking. Good call. Good call. All right. So what do I want to do against Eldrazi Post? Bringing in Arcane Artisan seems fine. That might be it. And like an Echoing Truth. Actually, I probably want to leave the Echoing Truth in the board as a Cunning Wish target. Yeah, so like all this stuff needs to stay here. Yeah, so I'll probably just bring these in to help like dodge some permanent-based hate that my opponent might have. Maybe this isn't even good enough. Maybe I just like whack the submit button. But I can like totally see cutting the personal tutor and like trimming a preordain, for example, to end up here. Or no, I have Flusterstorms that I want to get rid of. Those are just like absolutely worse than either of these two cards. Actually, my opponent is playing a green version with crop rotation, so that's not like 100% true. But it's probably mostly true. I think my opponent played that game very well, by the way. At least based on what I saw, like figuring out they had enough mana to activate Isle Ugin and then like play around an Emrakul being put in off of Omniscience. Like that's a really heads-up play. Yeah, when this deck is winning, you're often winning by a lot, and you can often win in many different fashions. So, like, since we had the Cunning Wish that turn, like, with the Thought Knot trigger on the stack, we very easily could just, like, get a Release the Ants kill. Although, I guess I should avoid a Release the Ants kill, because it's theoretically possible that my opponent has an Emrakul in their deck, and they could tie me at some point. Unfortunately, I had it all. Yeah, good problem to have. I'll keep this hand. You know, we probably win off a Show and Tell. Like, Show and Tell beats Thought-Knots here even afterwards, which is cool. We'll probably be a little soft to an early Chalice, but my opponent has mulled into Oblivion. I'm going to take this upkeep stop off of my turn. I might not actually need that. Alright, so we're basically looking for Show and Tell. We will accept cantrips. Keeping the Impulse there is especially good because it's a cantrip that can be played through a Chalice on 1. Which might be one of the things that, like, my opponent stopped for. Oh no, they've bogged me. I'm just going to Impulse this turn to do something in a very mana-efficient way. Hoping to Impulse into Show and Tell and just end this one. Yeah, usually I'm on the side of casting the Chalice, not having to care about the Chalice. So this is new. Hey, now they can bounce my Emrakul and give me more turns. Do. Find me a show and tell. I did it. I found a show and tell. I will now cast a show and tell. And like a skilled magician, I will do things. Mana Tithe would get me. Warping Whale would get me. But I don't think I'm supposed to wait for a counterspell here. Like, I'll go for it, and if they beat it, I'll find 2. What are you surgicaling? Impulse? Well, that's actually very good here. Good stuff. Good stuff. So that's probably a happy coincidence, right? Like, they were surgicaling to like try to figure out which of their 2 cards they could maybe put in to win the game. And they happened to strip 2 cards from my hand. Spells cost 1 more to cast. Alright. I wanna. We'll try next turn. I don't know that you can get rid of my Omniscience. Yeah, there we go. Our opponent didn't really get to fight back too much that match. Forest, Krosan Grip. That would do it. They already did have 3 lands in play, so that would be fair with Sphere of Resistance. Learn to Love 6. Is this one of the Storm players? I know this name. So hard to keep track of everyone. Learn to Love 6. No, I played this player a bunch when they were playing Miracles. Alright, I have a nice bully hand. Looking for land and show and tell off this. Do I want 2 lands? No, I think I just want 1 land here. Let's see what my opponent's playing. Yeah, Bentley, that felt fine. The sweet island my opponent has. I like it. I like it. Spirit Aim before doing anything else. I like this a lot. The Cunning Wish I think I'll send to the bottom. I'll take the Brainstorm, though. And then play out a Delta. I actually probably want to Brainstorm away this Personal Tutor. If this is going to be a fair blue matchup, I don't want to take the card disadvantage of Personal Tutor. Ooh, my opponent is stuck on mana. That may mean their hand is just full of counterspells. Alright, back to basics. So they're probably some sort of Stoneblade deck. I don't really want them to do this. I could force a Will this Ponder. If they have a counterspell, they probably fight over it. Then I end of turn Intuition for Emrakul, Show and Tell Emrakul. And I can even Brainstorm before it to try to find another. Yeah. I'm going to do it. This is an aggressive line. But it's one that's probably very likely to just win the game. Yeah, they force back, pitch a True Name. And then before they can have a Spell Pierce open, do I want an Intuition? No, I don't think I do. I'll let them have that. There's a shuffle. Alright, they found a land. Emrakul. Emrakul. And Emrakul. I have made my choices. It is technically a fight. Do I want to Brainstorm before this Show and Tell? Yes. If my next few cards, like, absolutely suck... I could take another turn and Intuition for Force, Force, Force. And then go off with Protection. I really like that. I don't think I need to rush here. So let's send back one land and a Preordain. Again, I think I can afford to like wait and go off with a piece of protection here. I'm under literally no pressure, so no need to just go for it and lose to another Pierce or something. Yeah, honestly, let's just send back. Send back Omni. Preordain, bottom both. The Emrakul's good enough to just win here. So good that we have another. But again, as long as our opponent has no clock, I have all the time in the world. I'm now playing around soft permission. So what can I get with Cunning Wish? And Cunning Wish for a Flusterstorm. That's not bad. So if my opponent taps low, I've got that beat. Counterspell is fine. Now we go for it. If they force this, I just try again next turn. Two pair. Unexciting poker hand. pretty good show and tell hand. Now I'll wait another turn. Because now with one blue card, all of a sudden my hand's great. Instead of just fine. Considering my deck is full of blue cards, that is an acceptable place to be. How is it dangerous if they go land Jace, though? Or no, does this just have protection from spells, not spells and abilities? Alright, well this is a little inconvenient. So much for my thought of, I don't need the Omniscience. Yeah, I'm not really, So what can they beat me with? So, land Council's Judgment. A second natural Council's Judgment would do it. Otherwise, Caracas. Yeah, I like show and tell so much, I ran back the class. The event? I don't know that's really a class. Alright, so we're playing against Stoneblade. Boseiju sounds awesome. It's probably it. Like, I could board in the Flusterstorm, but I'll probably leave it in the board as a wish target, kind of like we saw that game. So like before, the Personal Tutor is probably the first thing to go. Can probably trim a Cunning Wish and a Preordain like before. Well, this hand looks strong. We have 3 lands, Show and Tell, and Emrakul. And if our opponent isn't going to put us under any pressure like last game, then I have all the time in the world to like draw missing pieces and protection. Yeah, alright, so it's going to be another no pressure game. If I just brainstorm, will you counter it? I bet so. Yeah, this is fine. That was not a desperation brainstorm. That was a bait brainstorm. Ah, I am going to continue to make land drops while you do not. I like this plan. I'm comfortable with main phasing a brainstorm here. I really wish I hadn't played my land there. Let's send back 2 lands. Send back Ancient Tomb and Island. And I'll pass the turn. I'll impulse on my opponent's turn. It's impulse now, actually. Because there's a world where I impulse now and find a Force of Will, and I force pitch the Cunning Wish. And then I just show and tell in the Emrakul uncounterably. I think that's fine. Ambush Viper. I respect this play. It's one that I've made many times. Like, sometimes you just have to go and, like, put in a clock. Narset would be annoying, and still could be. Like, it could still find, like, my opponent a Council's Judgment. Is there anything that I would like to intuition for? Like, I could take a turn to intuition for a Flusterstorm so that I could beat Council's Judgment. And I can do it uncounterably. Is that better than just going for it and making them have it? Like, they get to look at a lot of cards with Narset. Actually, I guess this turn I can intuition for Omniscience. Put in Omniscience, then Hardcast Emrakul. Yeah, I think I'm going to slow this one down. Oh, I see. Narset revealed it before, so, like, he actually does have Council Judgment. Omniscience, Omniscience, Omniscience. Done. Please don't surgical me. It would be savage. Sure, you can target Brainstorm. I get an extra turn. Now what are you going to do? Your Brainstorm resolves. Alright, and I get there. I'm a bully. I'm up 2-1 with Show and Tell. Or not Show and Tell, with Omniscience. Thoughts on the deck list so far? I feel like I never want to cast this card. I don't even know that the Personal Tutor should be in the deck. Like, if I'm playing against a blue deck, I don't really want the card disadvantage. And I'm already running, like, so many cantrips that I don't know this is actually necessary. Like, I guess you can go down the card because you have so many cantrips, and, like, you can use it to, like, flip and grab the Show and Tell immediately. But I don't actually know that this is better than, like, say, one more Fluster or Spell Pierce or something. I don't have the answer to that question. But I don't know. I don't know about this. Otherwise, I like all the other main deck stuff. And the sideboard seems fine. My opponent's played a little bit of everything. My hand's missing a bunch, but we have 3 cantrips. Ooh, yeah. I could see one main deck Boseiju being better than the personal tutor. Is intuition good enough? Intuition can get me show and tell, or I guess if I keep both of these, I can intuition next turn. I guess intuition next turn is like fine. But if I take these, like my brainstorms kind of like get worse, and I'll still be looking for some other piece. I guess I can next turn intuition for show and tell, and then like show and tell in omniscience, and then like try to use my brainstorms to just go off. All right, I accept this. And I should have stacked that in the other order so that the intuition would be hidden from a Thoughtseize effect to limit my opponent's choices. But we're just going to play against another post deck, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, we all watch streams while at work. Let's be real. Show and tell. Show and tell. Show and tell. I mean, if you can watch streams at work while you're working, you do. I mean, that was a super convenient draw, by the way. I know that's very obvious, but Omniscience. Let's find a Cunning Wish. Nope. Put back land. Land. Fetch. Land. Cast. That's good. That's good. So let's put back Ponder and Emrakul. Oh no, where did it go? It's back. Ta-da! Alright, so what did we do here last time? Last time we pulled out the Flusterstorm and pulled in the 2 Artisans. Thought-Knot's here tried. It did its best. Yeah, and like there was any number of ways to navigate that. Like at the same time, I could have just left double Emrakul in hand, and like that beats the Thought-Knots here as well. Like when you're that far ahead, like what's one trigger gonna do? Like last time when our opponent went and put in a Thought-Knot Seer, like, we beat it as well. So we have Force of Will for a Chalice, then 2 cantrips. This is a fine hand. So looking for Show and Tell specifically. Cunning Wish. Cunning Wish can go and get Intuition, but I think that's very slow without a Soul Land. So I'm just going to bottom both of those and try to find other things. Nope. You can have Key. Well, we got the Cunning Wish back. Yeah, I don't care about your mana. Well, it's not that I don't care. But I want to Force of Will something that, like, actually impacts me. We'll see if I get, like, super punished by giving them this mana when they just, like, hardcast an Emrakul, which just ignores my Force of Will. Let's Impulse. I take Show and Tell. Let's get rid of that so that they can't get something cool out of their sideboard. I get Omniscience. What do you get? Oh, you got a land. You're dead. Alright. So we get Firemind's Foresight. We cast Firemind's Foresight. And I don't even have to go through the loop. My opponent has just conceded. Hey, and we've cashed this league already. Anything else from here is upside. Next deck I will give you will be Blue-Red Omnitel. Like, not Sneak and Show, but, like, Blue-Red Omnitel, just meaning, like, you can hard cast, like, Pyroblasts and Grim Lavamancers and stuff that you're bringing in. Oh, yeah, we would have released the Ants there. Well, we didn't have to release the Ants there. Like, we could have also just hard cast an Emrakul by going, like, Firemind's Foresight into, like, Cantrip a couple of times, into Cunning Wish, into Eldamari's Call into hardcast Emrakul. Yeah, you generally try to avoid releasing the Ants against... I'm going to bottom the Spell Pierce. I'll top the Force of Will, in case my opponent's, like, playing a Chalice deck. Then I can, like, force pitch to Fluster. Let's brainstorm. Well, don't love what's going on here. We'll try to brainstorm out of this again next turn, after I draw one of the Ancient Tombs. I will also very aggressively Spell Pierce, like, basically any card that I can. Alright, let's hope to get through Ancient Tomb into a fetch land or a Ponder or Preordain. I will also accept just drawing Show and Tell. The Wasteland makes this awkward. But I don't think I'm in any hurry. I think I'm going to want to put back at least one Ancient Tomb. Then I don't know that I actually love this Flusterstorm anymore. Let's ship those two and Preordain them away. And now I can, like, hold the Ancient Tomb for a turn that I can actually go off. Yeah, so, like, I realize that I can trade a Wasteland for an Ancient Tomb, and that may favor me. Hey, Bob. Bob is a good Magic card. Yeah, Bob isn't him. I will give you that. But Bob represents so much over time. Like, if you have the opportunity to stop Dark Confidant, even if he isn't, like, the scariest thing against your game plan, you should probably stop him. My opponent has stopped in second main. Do I have something else to do? Wasteland their own scrubland and concede? I'm going to go ahead and ponder here. If I find Show and Tell, I can just cast it. Is any of this good enough? So the Cunning Wish plan isn't great given my current mana situation involving that Wasteland. I think I'll take a reroll on a Ponder. Can't go off this turn, but I can, like, try to find the card Show and Tell. I have failed. Let's shuffle these. A him here would suck. Alright, Tide Hollow Sculler is an annoyance, but, like, that's fine. It's a slow clock and weak disruption. Like, I'm fine trading 1 for 1 here. They should probably... Well... There's an argument for taking the Impulse and trying to strand me with the Fat in hand. Rough. Yeah, like, there's things that can just beat a show and tell Emrakul. Another one of them just being, like, Caracas. Like, Lily of the Veil or Caracas will beat it. They also could have Council's Judgment. I'm just going to let that land go. I don't feel the immediacy to brainstorm currently. Like, I'm not under enough pressure to care. Now I care. This brainstorm is now much worse than if I would have just brainstormed a minute ago. Oy. How do I get out of this game now? Alright, that occurs. So I can personal tutor for show and tell, discard land, cast show and tell in Emrakul, Lily minus, I die. Well, I don't die, but, like, my efforts have been in vain. I think I have to draw show and tell into Omniscience and then play off the top. I think that's how I win this. So I just need to pass the turn and start discarding cards here. I probably can't beat a disruption spell from here. I guess I'll discard the Delta. It doesn't particularly matter which one I discard. Like, all the cards have the same text. It's just, like, be discarded to Lily. I also can't probably just beat Lily. Alright. Now I'm dead. We had a lot of hits to win that game, and I just whiffed. So I've got discard to respect, and also potentially Containment Priest as well. Pull his personal tutor, which has been bad. For Fluster. I could board in Artisan as well. Against something like D&T, I absolutely would, but against, like, Dead Guy Ale, I have him and Thoughtseizes to respect, so I probably can't pull these. Ah, Boseiju. It's extra lands to fight back against Wasteland, right? That's how that works. I'll keep this. I have a redundant hand. I'll be using my Ponder turn 1 to just try and find additional lands. If I get Thought Seized, I actually don't really care about any one individual card in my hand all that much. I'm just trying to make land drops at this stage. That needs to be shuffled. This is too risky. Like, I know it has the other half of the combo here, but then I'm going to draw, like, a blank the following turn, and if I Brainstorm whiffs, I probably just lose the game. Or, like, if I get discarded this turn and I lose the Brainstorm, I'm in such bad shape. Yeah, much more comfortable with this. So this Thoughtseize probably takes a Brainstorm, but then I'm very insulated against him and equivalents. Oh no, it takes a Show and Tell. Do you have Surgical? Well, if they had Surgical, they should have Surgicaled already. So they don't have Surgical. Or they're bad. But I think they don't have Surgical. Let's just shuffle this. Is that true? Like, the Preordain's not bad, but I don't really want to draw the Intuitions given my mana shortage. Yeah, let's shuffle. Much better. And I'll pass with mana up to, again, muck with Thoughtseize on the... or, both Thoughtseize and, like, him on the other side of the table. Well, that's a good reason to take a Show and Tell on one. Not getting this third land here is brutal. You force this? It's a 2/2, though. So I need to ponder on my turn and find a third land. If I force this, it's essentially just like a tempo force. I don't love doing this. But I'm going to have Pierce up for most of my opponent's interaction. So it's only things like Tidehollow Sculler and Thalia that are really going to give me trouble. That is almost perfect. So let's put the Omnis on top. Take Ancient Tomb, shuffle. No. I won't play this turn. I'll wait and play that next turn. Don't want to get got by Wasteland. I have Spell Pierce for a Walker, a Hymn, a Thoughtseize effect. Not a Thoughtseize effect now. Sculler's fine. It's going to take my Show and Tell, though. So I'm going to leave up my Pierce. I'm going to take a little extra damage to Impulse now. No, I still think I want that Omniscience. Take a Show and Tell. Put those back in any order. Alright. So life's pretty good now. Like, if I can get the Omniscience into play, and even just, like, drawing a cantrip is pretty big game at that stage. Hoping to avoid, like, land drop into him. That would be very bad. I mean, this is still pretty terrible. It's like, now I'm going to get Thoughtseize, I'm going to lose the Show and Tell, my Ancient Tomb is going to get Wastelanded. I think I just lost to my deck this match. Like, I had big windows to draw cards in this match. And I just flubbed. Like, I'm getting wrecked by a turn 4 Thoughtseize. That's not the plan. Take the Spell Pierce, him me and Wasteland me. Lily. Well, that's a disaster. So I need to draw something to Show and Tell in this turn. Oh, I get to ponder for it. It really needs to be another Omniscience. Holy crap. I think things are going to work out, chat. Unless my opponent drew Council's Judgment and just, like, fucking savages me. I get to just, like, cast Emrakul. And my opponent has 6 permanents currently. You draw Surgical. That would be super tilting if you just, like, shuffle my library. Moto Shuffle Bug one-time dealer. Like, cantrips are very good here. Ha! Ha 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 ha! It does not matter, puny mortal. You have nothing. That was supposed to be like where we stopped the stream. I have to do another game of this. Sucks. Felt like I deserved to win the match for that. Hey JD, welcome. Well, I can't throw this back. I don't know so far as to say, like, the hand's great. Like, we're missing mana. And, like, that's how we stumbled and, like, lost game 1. But my opponent has mulliganed to 4 cards. So, if we draw reasonably, we probably take this one down. I'm just going to pass with Fluster up. No need to expose myself to, like, another him or Thoughtseize effect. Thoughtseize into Sculler. Dodge my Fluster. Stoneforge Mystic. That's probably fine. Would I force it if I drew a force? The answer to that is yes, since my opponent is on so few cards. So I will go ahead and Brainstorm here. It's a suboptimal Brainstorm. But that's fine. Yeah, like, I can force pitch Fluster here. I'll send back Emrakul and then just, like, redraw my land. It's possible that, like, Force Pitch a Ponder is better here. But if my opponent uses a card to go and, like, attack my hand, I think I'm okay with that at this stage. What do I think about Preordain? Preordain's fine. Perfectly happy with the land here. Thoughtseize isn't all that annoying. Hey, there's Show and Tell. So I can just do that next turn, and I can keep a Brainstorm in hand to protect everything. And I am fine with just ramming a Show and Tell out there. My opponent has 2 cards. Make them have something. Like, if they have Lily, they also have to have a land to pair with it in order to beat me. And if they don't have it here, I just, like, win the game on the spot. Like so. Okay, so again, summing up changes. I think Personal Tutor should go. I think that should, like, probably just be another land. Someone in chat suggested Mountain. Someone else suggested Boseiju. I think either one of those is reasonable. But Boseiju is probably better. Like, you really don't need Mountain if you're playing a mono blue main deck, and you're only playing things that, like, you're kind of hoping to get off of, like, a Cunning Wish Omniscience scenario anyway. So I think I'd play a Viseiju in the main, opening up another sideboard slot, and maybe that should just be a sweeper. Something like Kozilek's Return or Pyroclasm seems totally reasonable. I guess Kozilek's Return to be an instant. Bentley, thank you very much for donating towards this deck list, by the way. This was fun. I had a couple of great, very clippable moments, so I enjoyed that. So I'm gonna be back tomorrow with Goblins. I'm gonna play tomorrow afternoon. Or I guess literally at noon. So tomorrow I'm gonna play Goblins with Goblin Lackey, and I'm looking forward to that. As in the person who's usually hanging around my chat, not like the card. Of course, it has the card in there. So if you're enjoying, and you haven't followed already, please do so. Helps the channel grow. And if you're really enjoying, consider doing something like a donation deck list, or subscribing to the channel to financially support what I'm doing. I'm trying to play a whole lot of Legacy and bring you great content while I'm off for the summer and not working. Cheers, folks. I'm going to turn you over to Jarvis, who is, I think, playing some Grixis Delver. Good night.